From The National, this is Trending Middle East. I'm Yasmin Al-Taji. It's Monday, April 28th. Here are today's headlines. Egypt is in outrage over a new proposal by U.S. President Donald Trump, a free pass for American ships using the Suez Canal. Trump has long called for a U.S. takeover of the Panama Canal, but he appears to have extended that call to the vital Suez Canal for the first time. In a Truth Social post over the weekend, it read, quote, "American ships, both military and commercial, should be allowed to travel, free of charge, through the Panama and Suez canals," unquote. It's prompted vocal reactions in Egyptian media and online circles.
I interviewed a lot of people on the street, a lot of people across various sectors, agriculture, industry, and everyone seems to just think that this is the latest in a series of terrible comments by Trump.
Here's The National's Kamal Tabikha with more from Cairo.
For Trump to suggest that Egypt let go of more funds that it desperately needs right now has been kind of portrayed as being a tone-deaf answer to Egypt's problems, and that Egypt's interests are not being taken into account. And many Egyptians on social media and people I spoke to are requesting or demanding that the president take a strong stance against Trump.
Egypt's Suez Canal is a key waterway that links Europe and Asia. Its traffic accounted for about 10% of global maritime trade before attacks by Yemen's Houthi rebels on shipping routes in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. Egypt said its canal revenues had plunged 60% last year, about a $7 billion loss.
Now, all this drama is happening as the Suez Canal's chief was on a televised interview yesterday talking about how the canal has lost a lot of its revenues because of the Houthi attacks on shipping through the Red Sea, and how the government is working really hard to bring shipping traffic back. So Egypt is definitely feeling the absence of the vital Suez Canal revenues.
Trump's proposal is the latest on a list of his administration's foreign policy actions toward the Middle East that have many in the region on edge.
A lot of Arabs are worried about Trump's foreign policy towards the Middle East, particularly after his strong support for Israel in its continuing war on Gaza. And many people feel that the US has allowed Israel to bring aggressions back up with no international condemnation.
Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has appointed a close aide as the first-ever deputy president of the Palestine Liberation Organization. The move positions Hussein al-Sheikh as a possible successor to Abbas, who is 89 years old. The vice presidency position was created during a convention held in Ramallah last week. It follows years of international pressure to reform the PLO, and comes as Arab and Western powers envision an expanded role for the Palestinian Authority in the post-war governance of Gaza. The PA is on the brink of financial collapse. Following the Hamas attack on Israel that sparked the war in Gaza, several international donors have increasingly insisted that financial support be tied to political and institutional reforms. The PLO is an umbrella organization comprising several Palestinian factions, but not the militant groups Hamas and Islamic Jihad, which are at war with Israeli forces in Gaza. U.S. and Iranian officials are slated to meet again next week for a fourth round of talks. It's a positive sign after discussions over Iran's nuclear program that lasted 7 hours this past weekend in Oman. The announcement came after U.S. President Donald Trump said he was open to meeting Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and that he thought the two countries would reach a new agreement.
It is still a good sign that the teams in Muscat have agreed to meet again.
The National's Nada AlTaher reports.
For the first time, a team of technical experts from both sides were present at the talks to hammer out the details of a potential deal. After 7 hours of negotiations, Iran and Oman announced that there would be a fourth round of talks taking place next week.
The Iranian Foreign Ministry said the third round of indirect talks this past weekend was held in separate halls like the previous two rounds. The countries also held their first technical meeting. Hours after the talks began, hundreds of people were injured in an explosion at the Shahid Raja'i port. in southern Iran's Bandar Abbas.
In the background of all of this, a huge explosion took place in southern Iran's Bandar Abbas port. Iran state media has warned journalists not to jump to conclusions on any malicious intent behind this incident. All sides agree so far that the talks have been taking place in a serious environment.
That's all for this morning's headlines. You can get these stories and follow live updates at our site. Yasmin Al-Taji, The National.